I got some good news and I got some bad news, guys. The good news is that this is season 2, episode 1 of Coach WONDERGEDDON. The bad news is that season 1 ended when both of my basketball teams couldn't survive the gauntlet, what is known as the fantasy basketball playoffs. And unfortunately, both of my teams fell. I'll tell you guys all about it in detail after my intro. Welcome to the show, guys. Coach WONDERGEDDON, season 2, episode 1, the return of baseball. And the reason why this happened is because of the bad news that I suffered today. That my teams, both of my teams, WONDERGEDDON basketball teams, have lost. They're both gone. They're no longer eligible for first or second place in the playoffs. It chokes me up just thinking about this. It hurts me. I lost both leagues, guys. I'm hurt. I feel disrespected. I feel abused. But you know what? I'm coming for revenge. Next season, Towns Syndrome and Cool Runnings. I'm looking for you guys. And I will find you. And I will punish you. And you will love it. You hear me? Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm your captain. All right? What other ones? Nobody can cross it. Only those who could understand it can cross it. Whatever other threats or anything that else I have to say that I'm not allowed to say on the show, I extend these threats to you. Next time I see you, it's a war thing. Don't. If you ever see the name WONDERGEDDON anywhere near you again, just run in fear. I'm coming back for you. But in the immediate, congratulations on beating me. And whichever one of you guys win the championships deserve it. But I hate you both equally, Cool Runnings from Jays and Titties. And I hate you too, Towns Revenge from the League of Degenerates. I will be looking for you next year. And I will be back. Thank you, Julius Randle, Anthony Davis, De'Aaron Fox, and Dennis Schroeder. They were on both of my leagues this season, putting in work. I came in first place in both leagues, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't win the playoffs. So that's where I am right now. League of Degenerates, thank you, Buddy Held. Thank you, Devin Booker. Kevin Durant, Paul George, Get Well Soon, Joseph Nurkic. I can't believe I'm saying names like this and not telling you that I won the league. It hurts. This guy had Gallinari and beat me because Gallinari was going 11 for 15 and scoring like 25 points, like 8 threes, just stupid numbers that don't even make sense. Anyways, Jays and Titties, I'd like to thank Bradley Beals and Lou Williams for also being on my teams and supporting the cause, which was for me to come in first, which didn't happen, and I'm probably going to keep talking about this. I can't believe this didn't happen. We're going to talk about something else after these messages. Welcome back, guys. We are now going to talk about baseball. Baseball 2019. I have joined the league. I'm going to tell you guys who my teams are, the players, and why I chose them specifically. This is the Bodman Baseball League. Shout out to the Brampton Turbinators for adding me to this league. We are 10 teams deep. I am a past champion in this league, and I plan to come back and win myself another one. I gotta tell you guys who's on my team though, because honestly my team is kind of stacked as usual, and I think I'm going to, as they say, kick some tail in this league. As I said, 10-team league. There are 10 of us. The names I'll get to as we go, as the season progresses. My name, of course, is WONDERGEDDON. It's like that in all fantasy leagues because we are the best. I have a list of players. I'm going to tell you guys my whole roster and why I chose them. And this might take a little bit of time, but if you are a true fantasy baseball player, then you're going to appreciate this. And if not, then try to skip forward. But I think I'm only talking about baseball today anyway, so skipping forward means you're going to the end. So enjoy the ride, folks. Enjoy the ride. Number 1, I'm going to tell you guys by position who I chose. I'm going to tell you why I chose them, and I'm going to give them as little information as possible so that I win when it's time for me to win. But I'm still going to give you guys enough that you can possibly win your leagues. If you're on my league, don't listen to me at all. Bad luck to you. And let us begin with my catcher. My catcher is from the Cincinnati Reds, batting 7th with a .250 average. Last year he had 50 runs, 20 plus doubles, and 4 RBIs. I have him projected to up those numbers to about 70 runs, maybe about 60 or 70 RBIs. This is the catcher from the Cincinnati Reds. This is Tucker Barnhart. Tucker Barnhart, he is my center. And first base. First base batting 4th for the Philadelphia Phillies. He has a .250 average of last year. Last year he's also done a total of 90 runs, 30 plus home runs, 96 RBIs. I'm expecting those numbers to jump significantly with the addition of Bryce Harper to his team and also Gene Segura. We have Bryce Hoskins, Philadelphia Phillies. That's my first baseman. Second baseman, he is the leadoff hitter for the St. Louis Cardinals with a last year's average of .257, 80 RBIs, 111 runs last year with 42 doubles and 36 home runs. This is from the St. Louis Cardinals, Matt Carpenter, second baseman. He is first base, second base, and third base eligible. I have him as my second baseman with Bryce Hopkins, who's going to hit 30 plus home runs this year and score over 100 RBIs and 100 runs. And I have Tucker Barnett, who is 50 runs, 40 plus RBIs last year, and I'm expecting that to go up quite a bit as well. But I'm not done, because at third base, I have Manny Machado, .297 average. He's batting 3rd for the San Diego Padres. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people don't know, but if you look at that roster and you look down that line, that team is pretty good. And Manny Machado is going to get 100 runs this year, and he is going to get 100 RBIs. He's probably going to hit he hit 37 home runs last year. I'm expecting him to hit maybe 35, between 35 and 40. 40 sounds like a lot. I'm thinking he's going to hit around 35 home runs this year. He's going to get 100 RBIs. He's going to get 100 runs. His team is stacked. He is going to hit about 30, 40 doubles. He's going to be a stat machine. Even if he falls off a little bit, he's still an elite player, and he's just hitting his prime, which means don't worry about if there's any drop off in the beginning of the year. Obviously, ride him out. Manny Machado's the man. Okay? My shortstop for this team, if my team didn't sound good enough, listen to this, guys. Gene Segura. I picked him up last year. He was with the Cincinnati Mariners. He is now with the Phillies. He is batting 2nd. Okay? So first on the Phillies lineup, your leadoff hitter is Andrew McCutchen. And then you have Gene Segura, who's probably going to hit about 200 hits this year. 91 runs. I'm expecting that to go up a little bit. 29 doubles. I'm expecting that to go up a bit. And he has 20 stolen bases. I'm expecting that to stay around the same. I hope that it goes up because right now it sounds like I'm tanking the stolen bases. I don't have a lot of speed. I got a lot of power on this team. But he's a 304 average, which is pretty good, with Manny Machado, who's also about a 300 average. So my real power hitters that have low numbers are going to be covered a little bit by 300 hitters, making my average look a little bit higher than it should be. That is my starting infield. I have my backup player is Jonathan Schoop. He is playing for the Minnesota Twins now. He was playing for the Orioles before, and then he got traded, and now he is with the Twins. He is my project guy. I am hoping that he turns out. I might end up dropping him, but I'm going to tell you guys about him anyways. He's only about a 233 average last year, but last year he did have a few injuries and stuff. I'm expecting this to be a bounce back year, and I'm actually expecting all of his numbers, his 60 runs, his 20 home runs, his 60 RBIs. I'm expecting all those numbers to go up as well as his average. I could be wrong, but to be honest, I have him on my bench anyways. He's kind of my backup player. So if he doesn't pan out the way I want to, at least I have a trading piece, something I can throw out there and get back somebody who's on the waiver wire. That is my infield. I am going to tell you about my outfield next. This is my outfield, guys. I showed you guys my infield. My outfield is a little bit more of a project work. I'm thinking that it's gonna pan out. These were some of my lower picks to get these guys on my team. So I'm hoping that this pans out. But I'm gonna tell you guys about my left field first. Who's a monster? Who is it? It's my outfielder from last season, Chris Davis, batting number 4 for the Oakland Athletics. Chris Davis carries 98 runs last year, 48 home runs, 123 RBIs. He's a monster. The only thing that you can have a knock on him for, and I don't think it's a huge knock, he had a 250 average, probably about 250 lifetime. But he's batting 4th on a team that has a pretty good offense, a lot of power. He's going to get a lot of RBIs. There's a couple guys, one guy that might take some RBIs away from him. I got him on my team. I will tell you about him when I get to the utility player. My center fielder is Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham, 275 average. He is batting 2nd for the Tampa Bay Rays. This guy is a beast. I believe he was with St. Louis last year. He was in that outfield logjam. If anyone remembers, they had too many really good players, and a lot of people were getting frustrated. He got traded to the Tampa Bay Rays, and then he started to kill it on the second half of the season, enough to catch my eye and make me draft him. He is a 275 average last year. He had 15 stolen bases, which is good for me because I don't have a lot of base stealers on my team. 21 home runs, guys. 21 home runs, 102 runs, and a lot of that was done on the second half of the season when he got traded to the Rays. That is my center fielder. My right fielder is also an Oakland Athletic. His name is Stephen Piscotty. He is the number 3, guys. Remember I told you that I think that if I lose some runs or some RBIs, if Chris Davis loses RBIs, it would be because of Stephen Piscotty. This guy's batting 3rd. He's about a 370 average. I expect him to be around 275 this year average-wise. Last year, he hit 27 home runs. He had 48 runs. He had 88 RBIs. Chris Davis was hitting 4th behind him, and he had 123 RBIs. So they score a lot of runs, and there's a lot of runs to go around, and I expect to have most of the runs that are going to be scored for the Oakland Athletics, and they're going to need it because I don't trust their pitching as much as other people do. So I think I'm going to need all those RBIs that I can get from the Oakland A's. I got their 3 and their 4 hitter. Yay for me. My project guy that I hope works out for my outfield is Jesse Winker. I've been waiting for this guy to be the man for the last few years. He plays for the Cincinnati Reds. He is a 300 average guy, and I expect him to hit 300 this year. He is a smaller version of Joey Votto on the same team, and I'm expecting him to do a lot of wonders for me this year. I hope it works out. He's batting first in the order for the Cincinnati Reds. I'm going to show you because his numbers are really small because he just came up last year. But let me tell you this. If you know anything about baseball, listen to this. 1, he has more walks than he had strikeouts last year. Okay? That's 1. Number 2 is 61 of his 84 hits that he hit last year were singles, and 7 of those were home runs. That means he has a bit of pop and that he's always making contact with the ball, and that is what I need on this team because I got a lot of power, which means my average tends to go a little bit low. I need a few guys that are going to bump my average up so I could steal a couple extra rounds in from the week-to-week scores. That is my outfielders. Tell me that is not already a great team. Hold that thought, because I am now going to tell you favorite part of my team is my pitching. I possibly have the best ensemble of pitchers in fantasy baseball history, except for the Brampton Turbinators. He has a really good starting pitching as well. But listen to my dogs and tell me if I don't have one of the best ones you've ever heard. Okay? Listen to these guys. I'm going to name them one by one. Their pictures are going to pop up one at a time. You're probably not going to recognize their faces because a lot of people just don't recognize baseball players' faces. But trust me, remember these faces because they're awesome. And I'm going to tell you why after I name them. You are going to be so jealous, anyone else that has a fantasy baseball team. Listen to these names. I'm going to start with Robbie Ray from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I also got Zach Godley from the Arizona Diamondbacks. I have Charlie Morton from the Tampa Bay Rays. And I have German Marquez from the Colorado Rockies. I have
Joey Lucchesi
from the San Diego Padres, who's going to get a lot of extra wins because he has Machado on his team, which means their offense is going to score a lot of runs, and he's going to get those wins that he didn't get last year because his offense was not quite as good as it was this year. Listen to these. I have Garrett Cole from the Houston Astros, and I have from the St. Louis Cardinals, Jack Flaherty. Let me tell you about each of these guys. I'm going to start with Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole was 15-5 last year. 200 innings pitched. Okay? 276 strikeouts in those 200 innings. He averages more than a strikeout every inning. I had him last year, and the amount of double-digit strikeout games that I had, I couldn't ask for anything more. And this year, I did anyways, and I got it. Jack Flaherty's on my team. He's another guy. He just came up last year. I've been watching this guy for a couple of years as well. He had an 8-9 record, which doesn't bother me at all because he just got to the league. Okay, 150 innings, and in those 150 innings that he's pitched, he's had 182 strikeouts. That's crazy. He's another guy averaging more than a strikeout an inning. And to be honest with you, every pitcher that I have on my team has more strikeouts than innings. I did that on purpose. That's how you win these leagues. Keep your ERA low, get as many strikeouts as you can, and eat those innings with your starters.
Joey Lucchesi
130 innings, 145 strikeouts. Okay? German Marquez, 196 innings, 230 strikeouts. Robbie Ray had a little bit of injury problems last year, didn't get a lot of innings in, but what he did get was a 6-2 record, which is awesome. 124 innings, 165 strikeouts. The guys, 2 people get struck out every inning. Just imagine that of the 3 outs, he's striking out 2 of them. Not every inning. We'll say every 3 innings he strikes out 2 guys instead of 1. But every inning someone's getting struck out. That's what I have on my team right now. Charlie Morton, 15-3, 167 innings, 200 strikeouts. Okay? Zach Godley, 15-11, 178 innings, 185 strikeouts. That's 1 strikeout an inning. Every inning. I'm going to do this all season. I think I have one of the best starting lineups that I've ever seen in fantasy baseball. If you look at this lineup and tell me different, then I want you to prove it. Show me what your lineups look like. Do your lineups look better than mine? I doubt it. But let's just pretend they do. I want to see for myself. And if you put down, if you show me a team and you only have 4 or 6 players in your league, I am going to laugh at you. My team is the best fantasy baseball team ever assembled. 2019, I did it again. I made another greatest team ever. Look at the list. This is my team. It's right here in front of me, in front of you. Look at it. Show me where my weaknesses are, and I will tell you why they're not my weaknesses. You know what? I feel so good about this baseball team that you guys are looking at right now. And me as the coach of the WONDERGEDDON franchise. Let me tell you something. I just don't know how anybody's going to beat me this year. I think I'm going 16-0. I think I'm going to win number 1. I think I'm going to win number 1 in the league. And I think I'm going to win the playoffs. And this will be partially my vengeance for losing my basketball teams. Cool runnings, Town syndrome. Next year, baby. I'm coming for that ass. That's it, guys. That's another episode. What did we learn today? We learned that I am possibly the best drafter in sports fantasy history. We've also learned that I drop the ball when it comes to winning championships in NBA fantasy basketball. But don't worry, this year we're going to be watching baseball, having a lot of fun. You know what, though? I'm not going to say your name, but I do appreciate your comments that I have not been talking about UFC enough, and you are absolutely right. Thanks for calling me out on it. We are going to talk about UFC soon. Bones Jones has another match coming up. Amanda Nunes is about to fight somebody. We haven't seen her since she knocked out Cyborg. She has new competition talk coming. We are going to talk about that next week. We are also going to talk about WWE. I know I haven't talked about that very often in the last couple weeks. We are going to talk about that. In the meantime, I am coming off the air. I am going to watch March Madness, and we are going to talk about that next week as well. Shout out to the 4 teams that... Ooh, Zion is a monster. We are going to talk about the 4 teams that we chose to represent the March Madness Bracket Challenge. We're going to show that next week as well. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know I got caught up in all the baseball stuff because it was playoff time, but season 2 is going to be fun. The season of baseball 2019, it's back. Enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. See you guys next week.